So it looks like Finland is about to lose its gas. Yeah, because the Finns and the Swedes, which have been both historically neutral for the longest time, since the end of the Second World War, as a matter of fact, well, they both are hell-bent for leather on joining NATO. And wait a second, wait. I seem to remember there was this country in Eastern Europe that insisted on joining NATO, and the Russians didn't like it, and they kind of invaded it. So the Finns and the Swedes want to join NATO. Now, Sweden, Sweden doesn't matter. Okay, it really doesn't. It's a trivial country filled with trivial people. They're attractive people, but they're pathetic and stupid, and they're going to go the way of the dodo, so they don't matter. The Finns, on the other hand, well, they kind of do matter, because they're right in front of Russia, right there, geographically. The fact is that Finland, for the longest time, was part of the Russian Empire. Oh yeah, just another province. It only gained independence in 1918, and it fought a bitter war with the Soviet Union in 39, 40, something like that. But then, the Finns joined with the Nazis. And so before that, they were the good Finns, but then after that, they were the bad Finns. Okay. Finland's history has been like a series of ups and downs. But the thing is, see, as a small nation, it depends on having a good relationship with its very, very large neighbor, the Russians. And in 1948, they signed a treaty with the Soviet Union that basically the Finns guaranteed that they would always remain neutral and never join any military alliance and never allow any foreign troops on their soil. That was called the Finlandization of, Finland. See, the term of having a country that would be a buffer zone, a neutral buffer zone. It came from Finland, from this treaty in 1948. Now, this treaty ended in 1992, actually it ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union on Christmas Day of 1991. But during 1992, the Russians and the Finns signed another treaty that essentially extended the old treaty, right? But now the Finns, led by Sanna Marin, a very attractive young woman, she's like 36, and she's totally bangable, and, she's an empty puppet. She doesn't have any thought going through her empty little skull. Other people are controlling her. I actually have no idea who, because I don't really care about Finnish politics. I mean, not really. There's a reason they call it Finland, the end of the earth kind of thing. But anyway, the Finns are hell-bent for leather on joining NATO because they have this weird notion that if they do so, they will be protected from Russia. And Russia has no interest in Finland. Russia doesn't care. In fact, Russia and Finland do a great deal of business together, of course, because they're so close. Helsinki and St. Petersburg are right across the bay from one another, practically. And so they are, the Finns and the Russians have had consistently a large amount of business together. There's no issue insofar as their border is concerned or any other point of contention, except Finland participating in NATO. That's a red line for the Russians. And so the word I got, and I'm trying to find out right now, the word I got yesterday was that Russia was going to cut off the gas supply to Finland. Yeah. And of course, the Russians supply 100% of Finnish gas and 100% of Finnish oil. Okay? And so, here comes the issue. Insofar as gas is concerned, gas is very important in heating, yes, but it's important also in electrical generation. And in Finland, only 6% of the electricity generated in Finland comes from natural gas. So it'll be a hit, but not the end of the world hit. But of course, the issue of the oil, right? The oil. Because if it's true, I'm looking to confirm this, so it could be that it's not true or it is true, or, we'll find out soon enough. But if it's true that the Russians plan on cutting the gas, or have in fact cut the gas to Finland, the gas is very bad for Finland, but not end of the world bad. Cutting off the Russian oil to Finland, that's end of the world. That's a catastrophe for Finland. Because an additional 21% of its electricity is generated by oil. And forget about the fact that all cars in Finland and tractors and trucks and all the rest of it are fueled by Russian oil. I mean, if the Russians decide to cut off the gas, that is, just a rap on the knuckles. If they decide to cut off the oil, well, that's the end of Finland. Why are they doing this? I mean, the Swedes are just stupid and arrogant. They've always been that because they think of themselves as this humanitarian superpower. They're just losers. They're just losers. I've met Swedes. They're all morons. They're all stupid, and they're all arrogant, and they're all very attractive, the men and the women. They're extremely attractive. And so because they are so attractive, they think that they are actually better than other people and don't realize that they're just fools. They're just morons, because they really are. Because the looks are all they've got going for them, really. They don't have anything up there, right? And anyway, it doesn't really matter because the Swedes are being overrun by Middle Eastern people and people of sub-Saharan Africa that are just overrunning the whole country. Sweden is becoming a disaster, a criminal zone, a no man's land. It's becoming Afghanistan, for crying out loud. Sweden doesn't matter, but Finland does because of its strategic position vis-a-vis Russia. Will the Russians invade Finland if Finland goes ahead and becomes a part of NATO? Probably. And how long would it take them to roll up Finland? About a half an hour. Because Finland is tiny. People get this weird sense that Ukraine is small and Finland big. No, it's the opposite. Ukraine is huge. I've crossed the whole country. I can tell you it is enormous. It's the size of Texas, the size of France. Bigger than France, as a matter of fact, and certainly longer. But Finland, it's tiny. It's just the Mercator projection on your map that gives you the impression, the false impression, that it's a big country. It's actually very, very small. And for the Russians to just roll up and take over the whole country, it would be really a week's worth of work, if that. The Finns are positioning themselves for inevitability. And remember too, the Russians, when they came into Ukraine, they were extra careful because they care about Ukrainians. Because there are Ukrainians, ethnic Ukrainians, which they consider practically brothers, and there are ethnic Russians that they consider, well, they're people. So they're not going to shoot the civilians or harm the civilians if they can help it, right? But Finnish people, they could care less. Helsinki, they'll just level it. I mean, come on. So if you're a Finland bro, I'm telling you, tell your government to stop screwing around. And for all the rest of us who aren't Finnish, it's going to be great. Another war in Europe. Damn, son.